Hello, dear friends. There is no talk of conspiracies of fear here, and this message is presented only with the greatest love and respect for humankind. Opinion piece. Something big is coming. Is a solar flare coming? The black sun would be the key to this. Let's show a new world. The summer stalemate is over. Spain sequences the genome of an immortal jellyfish. 3 months of inflation in Spain above 10%. Let's start. The summer stalemate is about to end, according to a number of sources. This is because the collective West is about to face a systems failure if events continue on their current course, according to Benjamin Fulford. The biggest sign that something big is about to happen is this announcement. Institutions linked to the Vatican that hold financial assets and money in financial institutions other than the Vatican's bank called the Institute for Works of Religion, IOR, must transfer their wealth as soon as possible within 30 days from 1st September 2022. The Institute for Works of Religion, popularly known as the Vatican Bank, is an institution of the Roman Church located in Vatican City. It was founded by Pope Pius XII in 1942 for the purpose of conserving and administering assets entrusted to it by individuals or legal entities for religious activities. The IOR administers funds for 7 billion euros and has almost 19,000 users, of which some 5,200 are Catholic institutions in plural, which own more than 85% of the funds administered, and 30,700 are individuals, including religious, Vatican City employees and other authorized persons such as diplomatic envoys to the Holy See. Interpretation. This seems to signal the end of the financial family's control over this institution, which is considered historic, as they have been the Vatican's private bankers since at least the 19th century. This is also very important because almost all world leaders who appear at the United Nations receive an account in the Vatican Bank when they assume power. Most countries in the world are being even more diligent in refusing to accept all forms of controlled money. This would be the real reason why the collective West is facing a major energy crisis and imminent social collapse. The question now is whether they will try to negotiate a surrender or will they double down with a new offensive. And that is why all eyes are on this week's big meeting of cardinals in Rome, after appointing more than 20 new cardinals this weekend. Pope Francis named 83 of the 132 cardinals eligible for a new pope. Vatican's observers noted that when the Pope traveled to Aquila on August 28 to visit the tomb of Celestine V, he said that by relinquishing power in 1294, he showed the strength that comes from humility. Solar eruption. The Earth Alliance has recently received a new data transmission from the Light Force detailing an imminent large solar flare that is about to occur on planet Earth. It would be a very high-power solar flare known as a super flare that can register a class 50x to 100x or higher on the X-ray scale. Such an intense super flare from the Sun on Earth would be perceived as a blinding flash of magnetic white light. The light emitted by this large cosmic flash would be exotic gamma-level light from a distant star in the galactic core. Although this light is high-energy gamma rays, when it is ejected from the galactic core, its power is greatly reduced after bouncing off the Sun's corona and continuing in the direction of the Earth. This high-frequency gamma light contains highly complex and structured universal data packets that would cause a great expansion of consciousness. This fifth-dimensional event would usher in a new era of light for humankind, where peace, freedom, and prosperity would reign. For the past 2 months, the Earth has been warmer than normal on the surface, about 12% warmer, and recent medical reports show that the sun's rays cause moderate to painful burns to the skin within minutes. Wise people say that this rapid warming cycle is the main cycle leading up to the great solar flare. This recent global warming began in 2012 and has only increased since then. They say that the magnetic power reversal cycle takes place every 13,000 years. The magnetic field surrounding the Earth is getting weaker and weaker, which has consequences for the entire planet. This would be the main cause of ozone depletion. In addition, the magnetic poles have already shifted hundreds of kilometers apart. Black sun. They say that the Earth's sun would have a powerful twin star some 50 billion kilometers inside the Oort cloud. This star would have considerable gravity and would be responsible for the gravitational tilt of all objects in this solar system, as well as the precession of the equinoxes. This second sun is called the hidden sun or black sun. It emits no light, but would be 1,000 times more powerful than the visible sun. This sun would have a companion planet in its orbit, known as Planet X. The black sun is an esoteric symbol composed of 2 concentric circles. The inner circle is in the shape of a sun, from which 12 rays emanate. The black sun is a recurring symbol in alchemy, often referring to the first stage of the Great Work. It is to say, the nigredo, the putrefaction or blackening of matter. The black sun is a symbol used today by neo-pagan movements. They say that at the time of declared solar flare, we would be absorbed into the fifth-dimensional reality, and that the catastrophic effects would be mitigated by Pleiadian magnetic field technology. For the first time in the history of humankind, when the great light comes, Earth beings would have the technology and the understanding of how to reach the next desired level. Know now that the benevolent forces are present to protect planet Earth and its beings from all evil. The ascension and the timing of the great solar flare, leading to the new golden age and the new pentadimensional Earth, is known. Only a handful of light beings have gathered all the information of this subject, and they encourage you to trust your instincts. Do your own deeper research and conclude what you want. We could receive outside help, but we have to make the changes ourselves, because it is our planet. No more fear psychosis. The planet will become a peaceful and trouble-free world where we can all live in peace. Rest assured that our new era has already begun. Better things are coming and our life will be very different. News of the reset, or reset news. Only 3 people know what is going to happen in the world. September would be an eventful month in which many things would be exposed. October has been promised to be a month of celebrating important events. Justin Trudeau's brother accused him of following orders from the globalists. Juan Osabin says we are at DEFCON 1, in maximum readiness for immediate response to threats or attacks. DEFCON is a series of alert conditions. The big battle is about to begin. Change would be in the hands of the white hats, but they haven't flicked the switch yet. We are going to show a new world. The blind will see the light. A beautiful and brave new world is coming. We take this journey together, one step at a time. Economic pain. People are going to be driven to the precipice, and it has already begun with warnings that you must sacrifice during the winter. People are angry. According to Truth is Unbreakable, after seeing the insanity increase week after week, with the constant Groundhog Day mania, more people are losing hope, suffering health problems, financial struggles, and becoming homeless and hungry. European natural gas prices are 6 times higher than last year, and this is causing widespread civil unrest across Europe. Scottish demonstrators burned energy bills in protest. Britain's electricity companies are set to make 200 billion in windfall profits. Environment urges Britons to drink treated water from sewers. The IMF and the Bank of International Settlements warn of much higher inflation to come. The Bank of Zimbabwe recovers after the introduction of $1,800 gold coins. More than 4,475 gold coins have been sold and more will be issued. Pakistan government threatens to block digital IDs to shut down access to bank accounts. Central banks around the world are getting involved in digital currencies, but some are further ahead than others. Immortal jellyfish genome sequenced in Spain to be applied to humans. Vessel collision in Gibraltar. A huge cargo ship is stranded off the coast. Americas. 80% of Mexicans want more military on the streets. López Obrador will compensate the families of the 10 miners in Coahuila. The president promised to continue the work to rescue the bodies of the workers who were trapped in the mine. Argentina places debt in local market for almost $2 billion. Uruguay would be the second American country to legalize euthanasia in 2023. The Colombian government asks citizens not to invade land and to respect private property. The work of the Truth Commission in Colombia is internationally praised. Rebirth of the Andean community. The future lies in the Pacific. Cuban Camilo Guevara, son of Che, dies during a trip to Venezuela. The Venezuelan justice system arrests the former vice president of finance of Petróleos accused of theft. Civil society demands that the Venezuelan government publish economic figures. Bolivia explores its salt flats to identify new areas rich in lithium. Thousands of Bolivians marched in support of President Arce. The president of Honduras highlights the reduction of homicides under her mandate. The Salvadoran Congress is asked to declare a national day for the disappeared. Deputies dismissed the proposal to repeal the emergency regime in El Salvador. Protests in Haiti forced the closure of the voting center for the Chilean plebiscite. USA. Texas crude oil falls 5.5% to close at $91.64 a barrel. Legal victory against the New York governor's secret quarantine camps. San Francisco shop owners threaten to stop paying taxes unless the city tackles crime and homelessness. A recently released Justice Department memo says there was no reason to prosecute Donald Trump for obstruction of justice in connection with the Mueller report. It is an acquittal of phony Russian collusion. Investigation into exorcisms caused at Children's Bible Camp in Canada. Attacks on a major gas field in Iraq forced contractors to leave. Europe. Germany presses Macron to accept a gas pipeline with Spain through the Pyrenees. Spain records 3 months of inflation above 10%. Year-on-year inflation in Germany soars again to 7.9% in August. Poland criticizes German energy policy and France's business policy. Poland doesn't rule out an internal explosion in the European over the disagreements on Ukraine. The European Union sends iodine tablets to Ukraine after Kiev attacks on the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant. More than 155,000 people entered Europe irregularly so far in 2022, 86% more than the previous year. Russia. Mikhail Gorbachev, the leader who ended the Cold War, dies. He died at the age of 91 after losing his battle against a serious and prolonged illness. He is credited with the fall of the Berlin Wall and the end of the bipolar confrontation. Gazprom cuts gas supplies to French energy giant Engie. Russia says ordinary citizens will pay for the decisions of European leaders. Construction begins on Russia's second floating nuclear power plant. More than 50,000 military personnel will take part in Russia's Vostok 2022 exercises together with China. Wall Street predicted that Russia's economy would collapse after it invaded Ukraine, but that hasn't happened. Economic growth is holding up in Russia. In March, a leading investment bank, JP Morgan, said Russia's gross domestic product would fall 35% in the second quarter from the previous one. Goldman Sachs predicted its economy would suffer its worst contraction since the implosion of the Soviet Union in the early 90s. But Russia's GDP fell only 4% year-on-year in the 3 months to 30 June. Given that JP Morgan concluded that Russia's economy has been kept under the weight of tough sanctions. Asia. Taiwan opens fire for the first time on a Chinese drone that entered its airspace. The United Nations calls for the resumption of humanitarian aid in Afghanistan. Pakistan estimates flood damage at $10 billion. Iraq tries to return to normality after the withdrawal of the Sadrist movement from the Green Zone. Morocco ignites tension with Tunisia in the Maghreb over the Sahara. And that's all for today. Thanks a lot, dear friends.